and welcome to another edition of the WUCC Cheese Cafe. So since the last time I recorded an episode, I think we kind of went through 3 of the 4 seasons once again. My last episode was the start of spring, but then we were given like a last gasp of fall and especially winter with one day of snow that just disappeared. It's a crazy time of year at the end of April because you transition to spring, but it's like winter doesn't want to give up the ghost. But today it's nice, it's about 18 degrees, and I'm doing a little walk to check out something brand new, the Montreal Record Convention that takes place around the Plateau Mont-Royal. So if you've been following me for the last few years, you probably already know I'm a huge fan of music in general. And as you can see in the last few years also, when the channel evolved, a lot of my music in the background is just me sharing like some of my favorite tunes and artists and stuff that's close to me. Almost like I'm a wandering jukebox whenever I'm wandering the streets of Montreal. And I probably talked about the record convention a few times in the past. It just, I never thought of going to visit it again because it's been a little while. Anyways, I do have a nice collection of music at home, and I guess I could give you a little bit of a callback to an older episode from probably a little bit over 2 years ago. So I'll put a card in the top right corner for you to click on if you want to see me show off a little bit of my CD collection from a few years ago. I'll admit I haven't really bought much music in the last few years because life got in the way and new things have taken up my time. There's only so much music I can spend on. But it's not to say I've given it up completely. I still like to check stuff from time to time. And this record convention, I feel like that the very first time that we visited was around 2008, 2009, because that was around the time we were really starting to get into vinyl records. I can tell you that the very first one that I bought after becoming a bit of a collector was Frank Zappa's Hot Rats from Cheap Thrills in downtown Montreal. And I knew about that place because my mom had told me about how she used to go there when she was a kid to go get some old books. And she always talked about the very crooked staircase. Rest assured that it wasn't an architectural flaw, it's just the way they designed it to give it a bit of a unique spin, I guess. But as time went on, me and my brother would visit the Plateau Mont-Royal to look around, and we found Old 33 Tours. Old 33 Tours is one of those record shops that have been around for almost feels like decades now, because I keep having to remind myself that that was almost 20 years ago. There were a couple of shops that we visited besides Old 33 Tours. There was Beatnik Records on Sherbrooke that actually still exists and I passed by before. There was even Primitive Records not far from there. That closed down the last couple of years, and I remember the one thing I got there that was pretty nice was a copy of David Bowie's Low with the Best Buy series marked on the top left corner. It was hard to find that record at a decent price back then. But one of the other interesting things we saw was that twice a year in Montreal, there is a record convention that's held. First time we visited, I would say, was probably 2009 or so. And that one was actually first held there, back around, I think, the Hochelaga Maisonneuve area, because I remember we had to go to the east end of the city to go do that. But after that, they kept having it around the Plateau at a couple of churches around, like Saint-Joseph and Laurier Avenue. So I'm kind of familiar with going there. It's pretty nice. You get to see a whole bunch of the vendors that are around, some from over here, some from like Ottawa, Toronto. Like, people come from all over the place to check out the records. There's some cool stuff. Cool spot, La Petite Marche. I think I only came here once back in 2022 for a quick drink before I was heading up to Place Saint-Hubert. This was around when I was on vacation, and I didn't record that episode. But I remember at the time that this was a spot where if you come before 7 o'clock, you can actually get a pint of a regular Belga red or blonde beer for about $4 a pint, which is kind of crazy because in this day and age, it's really hard to find beer at that price. But I'm getting kind of close to Laurier Avenue, so if I was to make my way eastward, then I'd be getting to the church where the convention's located. Now, I may not be able to get as much talking done while there, but I'll try to get as much footage as possible to show it off, and we'll see what we could find. Whew. Gotta catch my breath. Because yeah, full disclosure, as I'm recording this, I'm about 2 weeks away from recovering from a cold, because it turned out that when I was on vacation, halfway through, I started to get sick. It's like worst time to have that happen. You want to do some fun stuff, wander around, explore, and record a lot more, but you just end up kind of recovering because you're sick as a dog. Very funny. Well, found quite a few things around there. Sure took me back to my old record collecting days. I didn't end up buying anything just because I didn't plan for anything. I kind of wanted to just take a look around, see what was available, and look at some good stuff. Average price range I saw was maybe around $8 to $10 for some of the older pressings. Sometimes more if you're looking for rarities like Metallica, Iron Maiden, because it seems like records from the 80s, the few and the far, but well, like a little bit hard to come by. And I did find some other interesting stuff. But I'm glad I came because it meant I was able to document it and show off a little bit of the convention. But right now, I've got two cafes that are close by here that I think I'm going to visit and get myself a booster.
The color of my room where I will live. Blue, blue.
Convenient because I wanted to go to one of the cafes I mentioned and I had to go to Noble Cafe. This is a spot I actually do know because I did pay a visit here like last fall, like around the time it was still pretty warm, but we were getting to the end of summertime feels. This is like back when I did oh yeah, I remember. This is when I was doing a walk along St. Hubert Street, where I went to here, then I went to Le Vestiaire, supper at the Beaufort Bistro, which sadly closed down since then, and then finished off at Le Record, which is a vinyl bar that has a whole bunch of records you can play from like the 1940s and onwards. And I guess it's kind of appropriate that I'm referencing that considering I just walked out of a record convention. But if you do want to see that episode again, then just click the card in the top right corner and you'll be able to revisit it once more. That's another one that I was kind of proud of doing, but then again, I am proud of a lot of my episodes. So if I was to think of some of the other fun stuff I did see, I mean, I did see a copy of the Buckingham Mix record that, as far as I could tell, I've never run into on my days when I was looking at records. In case you don't know, just take a look and that's the image that you see of it. But essentially, that's the that's the record that Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks had put together when they were just, trying to start out as an artist. And it was because of that record that had a bit of a following, but it got the attention of Fleetwood Mac's drummer, Mick Fleetwood, heard it, loved the sound of the guitar, and then he wanted to bring Lindsey into the group. Those two had joined the band afterwards, and the rest is history. That led to Rumors, one of the top selling albums of all time. And I always mention this if I do an episode, but imagine all the turmoil they were going through, and that album is the result of it. That's crazy. But hey, art could come from sometimes a crazy amount of turmoil and drugs. That's just the way it was back in the 70s. So I'm just going to finish off this coffee here, relax a bit, and I'll see where my feet take me. Because to tell you the truth, I have some ideas where I could go around this area, or I could try to explore a little bit more. It's all a matter of wait and see.
To
After getting a little bit of consultation, I decided to go westward from the record convention and then go on to Laurier Avenue and a place that's called Dieu du Ciel. So I wanted to try to do something a little bit different because I am a hop and a skip away from the Cibois Brewery. Problem is that I've covered that so many times on my videos that I don't want to overdo a good thing. And this is a spot that I haven't really shown off as much. The first time I showed off on camera was probably back in August of 2023 when I did my visit to Lester's Deli and eventually made my way into Mile End. If you want to see that episode, then you know what to do. I'm putting a card in the top right corner for you to watch that one. So, this brewery, it's originally from Saint-Jérôme, but they do have a location here on the corner of Clark Street and Laurier Avenue West. So, you know, they got one pretty close to the Plateau, and I kind of enjoy trying it because it's just like the Boréal, the Relais Boréal that's up in Mile X. You go there, you're going to get some of the usual Boréal beers, but especially they're going to have some that they brew right on the spot that you wouldn't necessarily be able to get at the other brewers or get in stores. And in this case, I got myself what's called the Cine Simcoe New England IPA. I had to do a New England IPA, and in case you couldn't tell, it is one just by the color. It almost looks like orange juice. Simcoe, it's a type of hops that they use. Cine, well, I'm sure there's a pun to that I'm not too familiar with, but I just wanted, because unlike the other New England IPA that's from Saint-Jérôme that I bring here, this one's made exclusively in the Montreal location, and it's a little bit lighter. So, Talus Bonus is a Saint-Jérôme one, and that's 6.5%. This one is 5.8. So, gets it a little bit lighter. So, cheers everyone. Happy Saturday and happy patio weather. Now this tastes really glorious. You'll take note too that I'm indoors because everyone else already reserved the terrace for themselves, so there isn't a free spot over there. Not much you can do, but at least I have the whole bar to myself. Now this is definitely satisfying. And as I'm sitting here, I'm taking a look at the menu, and I feel like that I would want to give that other New England IPA a shot, even though it is a little bit stronger. But I do know that if ever I'm at a microbrewery, you can always get yourself a taster platter. It's like a whole bunch of beers at 5-ounce glasses, so you can get an idea of what each style is without committing to a full pint. And also, especially if it's a strong fucker, you won't have to commit to getting yourself shit-faced for that. There are a few good ones on here, and my goal when I'm going to be looking at this is trying to find stuff that I haven't tried, or also ones that I can't necessarily get in stores. So like, perfect example, Pêche Mortelle, I've had that before. It's a strong fucker, but I can get that anywhere. I'd want to see if I can get other ones that are brand new, exclusive to the tap room. So once this is done, there's a good chance I'll get that, and at the same time, get myself a small bite to eat. And then we'll see where we go from there. Lo and behold, had to do myself a little taster platter once again. And like I was saying, I want to make a conscious effort to do stuff that I haven't had before, because some things like L'Ange de Paradis, Pêche Mortelle, I know well because I could get them in other bars and I could get them canned in stores. I want to get ones I haven't even tried before, or ones that are exclusive to the bar. So without further ado, we're going to jump right into this because I don't want to do a heavy description. This one is their Tavern Blonde that's called Ça, mon ami, c'est une pint. So it translates from French, it means this, my friends, is a pint. But, you know, technically it's not a pint, it's really just a 5-ounce glass. And this one is like maybe 5%. Yeah, 5%, so it's like a decent, typical blonde beer you get at a pub. And I got it because of the name, because at first I thought it was like, my friend is a pint, which, you know, a beer is your best friend, I suppose. So this tastes like a basic blonde, for sure. So easy one to drink if you're on your own and you want to pound a couple of them at a bar. Next one I did was also the Talus Bonus, the other New England IP that's done at the Saint-Jérôme location, as opposed to the one I had before. So apparently the bartender told me that this one's a little bit fruitier and also a little bit stronger, and still got that very cloudy orange juice look. It's a New England IPA at 6.5%. I know exactly what I'm getting when I'm ordering that, but it does feel a little bit fruitier than the other one. And then these two are kind of unique because I saw them on the menu and thought I'd never seen them before. What I got here is the Oma, which they call a Grisette sur Marc de Raisin Rouge. I have no idea what a Marc is, but it seems like that they use red grapes or they're making this farmhouse ale. It makes sense because farmhouse ales, they're essentially ales that are made by the farmers when they're gathering their own crops. They usually have a bit of a cereal taste and also maybe a fruity taste depending on what kind of ingredients you put in here. As for the percentage, 5.5%, so par for the course for a farmhouse ale from this time of the year. Because summertime, you're going to get them a little bit lighter. When you get them in winter, they're going to be a little bit stronger, like maybe the 6% range. Pretty good. It kind of makes you think of like Welch's grape juice when you get the red grape one, or like a good glass of wine. Although they do have, I've been to some place where they have like barley wines or other strong ones. And this last one is actually the most unique of the batch. This one is a collaboration between Dieu du Ciel and La Souche. La Souche, I've had a few of them in stores, especially a couple of IPAs. There's like an English Pale Ale, a double cryo hop New England IPA that has like a wolf that's cryogenically frozen on the can, so I kind of like that one. But this one is called, what again? Nemestrinus. Seems very scientific, almost like a Latin name for an animal, but it's supposed to be like, they call it an old ale, so I'm guessing it's aged, and it has a taste of coffee in here, and pine. Sorry about that, everyone. So yeah, pine, coffee, unique. Because the thing I think, when I think pine, I'd also think like spruce beers that you would get sometimes, because I used to get that as a kid, and even into my adult years, and think, this kind of tastes a little bit like, you know, dishwashing liquid, for lack of a better term. The pine is kind of unique. The coffee flavor makes me think it's going to be a stout, but it's also the strongest one of the lot because it's 7.8%. But you know what? As a taster, I can do it. You can definitely taste the coffee here, and you can also taste the pine. But it's such a nice, it's unique, I'll give it that. It's not something I would do when I commit to a full pint, but as a 5-ounce glass, I could do it. Not bad at all. 4 new beers tried, I'm digging it, but I'm also hungry, so I should probably get something to eat. Very beautiful. So I was looking at the menu. They had some good stuff here, like a banh mi sandwich, burger, beef tartare, which honestly I know how to make pretty well at home, so I didn't want to do that. But I thought I'd go for something kind of classic and get myself the poutine. One of the best things that come out of Quebec, and one of the simplest things too, because it's essentially just fries with the curd cheese made out of cheddar and a sauce, depending on how you want to do it. And it looks like what they use is what they call a semi-glazed sauce, which I've never heard that expression before, and a whole bunch of seasonings, and green onions in there for good measure. It's delicious. And one thing to remember too is that to make a good poutine, you got to use the right kind of cheese. It's got to be cheddar curd cheese, not anything else. Because it kind of takes me back to when I was in Ottawa back in 10th grade / Sec 4. We did a trip. I remember some people were ordering a poutine over at one of the museums that we visited, except they had used some mozzarella cheese. And when you look at that, excuse me, hang on, maybe I should get some hydration going. Okay, much better. So they ordered poutine, they had mozzarella cheese in there, but it was like all melted on top, and that's one thing that's kind of disappointing because the texture of that could make or break it. So this was back in 2001, so they probably didn't have an idea of how to make a proper poutine. But you go there now, you're gonna have to the right cheese, the right sauce, the right everything, so it's really hard to screw up. And of course, actually I don't even know what I was thinking about. I guess I'm just kind of lost in my meal. And as luck would have it, I was taking a look at the beer menu that was around here, and I figured I could do one more taster before I hit the road. Because, as you probably know, I'll choose the name of a beer, I'll choose the artwork of a beer can, just because it comes up with some good material. This one is an IPA that's called Live Sampo, which is French for the island without a bridge. I guess if you're an island without a bridge, that means you're shit out of luck, because how are people going to visit you? I just thought, give it a good taster before I start to leave. And cheers to everyone. Let's see what this is like. Nice. So it feels like it's another New England IPA, an American style one, 5.9%. So it's pretty good. Nice way to finish my time over here. So here's a cheers to the island without bridges. I had to get a Peter Gabriel reference in there, didn't I? Good stuff. So my original intention was going over to see WUCC so I could get one of the grisettes, you know, the July 18th grisette, because I was thinking about my mom, but I stuck around over here because I had some good tourists, like people who I could shoot the shit with and just share some stories, and it was kind of fun, and I ended up sticking around a bit longer than expected. So what my goal now is, I'm going to be probably going to get a coffee. I'm right by the Petit Dep, and I think I'm going to go get that so I can caffeinate myself before I get back home. Nice Friday, no, not Friday, Saturday, and despite the fact it was sunny, I think there's a bit of rain going on right now, but it's not the end of the world. It's still manageable. So everybody, thanks for watching this latest edition of the Wandering Yuki Cheese Cafe, and if you like what you see, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button below. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoy my wanders, my stories, my antics, and everything that come with it. And if you have an idea for a future episode, leave in the comment section and I'll see what I could do. Till then, take care and see you next time. And yes, I know it's dark, but I have my sunglasses at night. I want to pretend I'm Corey Hart. But I'm not going to play some Corey Hart. Let's cue some Peter Gabriel, like that beer trophy that I had.
Lottie plays with Jane, Jane plays with Willie, Willie is happy again. Suki plays with Leo, Sasha plays with Brit, Adolf builds a bonfire, Enrico plays with it. Whistling tunes, we hide in the dunes by the seaside. Whistling tunes, we're kissing baboons in the jungle. It's a knockout. If looks could kill, they probably will. In games without frontiers, war without tears. If looks could kill, they probably will. In games without frontiers, war without tears. Games without frontiers, war without tears. Andre has a red flag, Chiang Shing's is blue. They all have hills to fly them on, except for Lin Tai dressing up in costumes, playing silly games, hiding out in treetops, shouting out rude